This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN Live, and we're on location in New York City. With me right now is Randy Scott. He's from Rare Element Resources, REE, on the NYSE market. Randy, welcome to SNN Live.
Thank you, Robert. It's a real pleasure.
So let's get started. You know, as the name might suggest to our audience, it's a rare element company.
That's right.
So let's get an overview of the company.
Sure. Rare Element Resources has been around for quite a long time. We've actually discovered the Bear Lodge resource in northeastern Wyoming. We've really advanced the project over the last 4 or 5 years now to where we have completed a preliminary feasibility study. We've moved our permitting forward, and we've developed quite a bit of interesting technology associated with the project as well. We think we're one of the most advanced rare earth projects in the world right now, and we're looking forward to keeping things moving.
So we're talking about rare elements, and you know there's a lot of them. You know, what are the main? I remember in my research there's about 4, right? That you're specifically focused on. So can you talk about those a little bit?
Sure. Back several years ago, the Department of Energy identified several critical materials that they thought were going to be in short supply and high demand in the future, and that were going to drive development of green technology particularly. And several of those elements happen to be rare earth elements. And we're very fortunate at Bear Lodge that we have an excellent distribution of those critical elements. So we call ourselves a critical rare earth project. Right now, and for the foreseeable future, the highest demand is for what we call permanent magnet materials, which are 4 of the rare earth elements out there that we have a great distribution of at Bear Lodge, and will essentially drive our economics for the project going forward.
So you're currently in production on the project, or you're still in the feasibility stage?
That's right. We're still in the feasibility study stage. We've done an awful lot of drilling and exploring. We know that we have a reserve with a mine life of approximately 45 years on the project now. With rare earth projects worldwide, you have to go through the process of developing your metallurgy as well as doing pilot plant testing. We've done multiple pilot plant tests to confirm our technology, and right now we're focused primarily on moving our permitting forward.
So, you know, with regard to rare earth elements, you know, there's, especially in the U.S., there's always issues with environmental, with the EPA. You know, how are you guys addressing those issues?
Well, there's a couple of things to note about that. First of all, as you well know, the U.S. industry is highly regulated with regards to environmental issues. China is the primary source of rare earth elements, and they are under scrutiny right now for environmental issues associated with producing their rare earths, which have put the rest of the world at a disadvantage with regards to costs. We think that's going to be changing soon because the Chinese are actually becoming more and more concerned about their environmental issues. In our case, we are regulated by a number of different agencies, one of which happens to be a federal agency, the U.S. Forest Service, and they're the lead agent on our environmental impact statement, which is, as I said, well underway now, and we're hoping that sometime, maybe as early as the end of this month, we're going to be able to get what is called a draft environmental impact statement issued on the project, a major milestone for us.
So, you know, I want to know your background. You know, how did you get into this space? Have you always been into rare elements?
Oh, good heavens, no. However, I have been with Rare Element Resources now for about 3.5 years. My background is I'm a metallurgical engineer, which is important for development of rare earth projects. Metallurgy is an important aspect of the project. But, you know, I ended up doing a number of different things, from wandering around the world looking for different kinds of investment projects to running large mines, large coal mines, even in Wyoming. So, but I have to say that my background really isn't nearly as important as the background of all the great people we've got working for us. We have a fantastic management team right now, and we're blessed with a board of directors that's, we think, second to none in the space.
So, what about, how'd you get into Wyoming? Of all places. I mean, you just said you were kind of doing some coal mining in Wyoming, but was there some kind of historical mining in the state for rare elements?
No, not really. The Bear Lodge project was actually discovered by one of our directors, the original founder and discoverer of the rare earth deposit at Bear Lodge. He had a great deal of foresight to be able to be looking for rare earth elements 15 years ago, before anybody had really cared about them or knew anything about them. And you go where the deposit is, so that's how we're in Wyoming.
Okay, Randy, final question for you. Going into the rest of the year for the fourth quarter 2015, into Q1 2016, what can you tell us for the company moving forward?
Well, I think we're looking forward to a couple of major milestones between now and the end of this year, first quarter of next year. I mentioned the environmental impact statement and getting a draft environmental impact statement issued. That's a major milestone in the permitting process for any company in the United States these days. The other thing, though, is that we have taken some new technology for separating rare earths, and we're moving up the value chain, looking at producing a higher valued separated product from the operations as well. Now, we've developed that technology over the last 6 months or so. We've filed a provisional patent on the technology, and we're excited about it, and we've moved it as quickly as possible to pilot plant testing, which will begin sometime in the next couple weeks, and sometime in October we will begin to get results from that pilot plant test, and if it is successful, it will be a major milestone for the company.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. And also, where can our audience go to find more information about rare element resources?
The website is rareelementresources.com. And all of our information is available there, and if anybody needs any additional information, just give us a call.
You heard it here, folks. Go to rareelementresources.com. My name is Robert Kraft, and we're here live on SNNLive On Location in New York City. With me was Randy Scott from Rare Element Resources, REE, on the NYSE market. Randy, thank you again.
Thanks very much, Robert.